video, I'm just going to generally introduce the ADA and what that means in camp and program settings. The next part of this training will talk about universal design and applying that to the environment and camp activities. So the ADA is the Americans with Disabilities Act. It was originally passed in 1990 and applies to public accommodations. The main takeaway from the purpose of the ADA is that it was set to prohibit discrimination and to guarantee that people with disabilities have the same opportunities as everyone else. It can be applied to any discrimination that's related to employment, the purchasing of goods and services, and participation in state and local government programs and services. While it does not specifically apply to every single camp, it does apply to most camps as they are public accommodations, and that is covered under Title III of the ADA. Private camps can also fall under the category of public accommodations, even when owned by a family or private entity, which has them covered under Title III as well. So Title III specifically requires public accommodations to take proactive steps toward making their goods and services accessible. So when it is within reasonable effort, so that would require barrier removal when it is readily achievable or easily accomplishable, and when it's able to be carried out without much difficulty or expense. Within these settings, the accessibility standards apply to swimming pools, playgrounds, sports courts, fishing piers, boating facilities, golf courses, and the general facilities of a camp. So what this ultimately means in the camp setting is that camps and programs are obligated to provide programs that are inclusive to people with disabilities, and to provide employment opportunities with reasonable accommodations, and overall provide reasonable accommodations and modifications that minimize the barriers that limit the participation of people with disabilities in programs and services. So specifically, this applies to the physical access of equipment and facilities. So the accessibility that should mostly be focused on is camps and other public accommodations should have, within reasonable effort, accessible parking, entrances, bathrooms, cabins, playgrounds, swimming pools, sports, ropes courses, and activities, as the list goes on. The main goal of the passing of the ADA is, again, the equal opportunity to participate for people with and without disabilities. And although it may not fully apply in every camp setting or every program, it is a good standard as to what camps and programs should strive to provide for people with disabilities. A good way of applying this is through universal design, which is what we will talk about in our next training video.